Hey everyone, I'm testing out Restream real quick, and I wanted to go live with a brand new update that Kartra rolled out earlier today. Super excited. It is something that is going to make updating or integrating rather your custom domain and your DKIM, which are required for emailing through Kartra. You need to have your own custom domain email, and it does need to be authenticated. This process is a little bit intimidating, a little bit techy. It involves editing the DNS of your domain, and now Kartra has rolled out this update to make it a little bit or a lot easier. So let's take a look. Want to? Okay. So I am logged into Kartra here, and I am in settings in the bottom left and then domains. So when you're going to integrate your domain and you click plus domain in the top right, we now have a new option. We've always had add a custom domain, but now we have buy a domain. So you can actually purchase your domain name, your new domain name, through Ionos. Okay. And the cool thing here is I just got confirmation from the Kartra team that when you purchase your domain through Kartra, you're purchasing it through a partnership with Ionos. So if we click on buy domain here, you'll see Kartra and Ionos. And if we go through the process of searching for a domain that we're going to buy, and we search, it opens us up in a, let me just make sure of that's what's sharing. Nope, I got to share this tab instead, and you guys should see that now. Okay, so now we're in an Ionos window. We're looking at awesomenewdomainname.com. It is available. Gee, I wonder why. But okay, so here are the options for us. And it is kind of cool. The search through Ionos will actually give you other options if what you're looking for isn't available, or if you wanted to, add on a different domain. Okay. So we notice here that for our first year, they are offering a really great discount, save 95%. So it is $1 for your first year. And then it goes to 20. This is a little bit higher than what I pay for a regular year renewal in Namecheap, but it's not incredibly different. I think my average for .coms in Namecheap is around 18. And so I think if you're going to, buy through Ionos, that's not too bad. Pricing is about, about average. The good news, and like I said, the part that I confirmed with the Kartra team before going live, is that you are not locked in or held hostage with your domain inside of Kartra. When you make this purchase, you get an Ionos account and you're managing your domain there. So it is cool that this is built inside of Kartra and does make it really easy for you to buy a new domain and set it up. But you're not like, my concern was that life is long and things happen and things change, right? So it's always possible that in the future, even though it's unlikely, that you might want to move this domain from using it with Kartra, and you might want to use it for something else. Maybe you want to get a WordPress website. Maybe you're making some changes, whatever. So the good news is that I got confirmation that the domain you buy through this partnership here with Kartra is managed in Ionos, and you can do whatever you want with it. You're not being held hostage in any way. So yay. But I personally recommend that you buy all of your domains in the same place. That just makes sense. Future you will thank you for not having to log into 3 different domain registrars to find where this domain is located or hosted or managed. And I like to keep the place that you buy your domains from separate from your WordPress hosting, your all-in-ones, your anything really. So that way you aren't held hostage by any platform. So the good news here is that if you haven't bought a domain yet, if this is brand new to you, you're starting your new business, then you can get started by buying your domain in here through Ionos and just manage your domains in Ionos. But the cool thing that I'm going to show you in a second here is that this new rollout of the automated integration also is available for a whole bunch of existing other domain hosts other than Ionos. So if you already buy your domains or have a domain that you want to integrate with Kartra and you already have it somewhere else, don't worry, you totally can use this new feature. Okay, so let me go ahead and if you were to go through with purchasing this here, you would get your Ionos account and all of that, and that's great. And then I'll show you what kind of happens next. So let me get out of that. Let me go ahead and go back to add custom domain, and let me make sure I'm sharing that screen with you. So add custom domain here. Now, this part here is what we would normally encounter, where we're going to choose whether we're integrating the main domain, which means the www dot whatever our domain is, or a subdomain. So I'm just going to choose only the main domain. And I don't really think it should say only the, right? The point here is you're choosing whether you're going to do www, so that's the main part of your domain, or a subdomain, in which case you choose whatever name you want instead of www. Most people, I think, I encounter a very common subdomain is go dot whatever your domain is. You would choose that if you already have something that lives on the www. So if you have a website already, or if you use a different platform with your main domain, you can use a subdomain like go or learn or work with. There's plenty of options. You can choose whatever word you want. And then that way, Kartra lives on this subdomain, and then your whatever you have existing on the www already doesn't get basically undone, because you can't have two platforms living on the same part of the domain. So for this domain, I'm not using it for anything just yet. It is okay. So here's the cool part. We're going to put that in. I'm going to choose the www because I'm not using it for anything yet. Now, this part usually comes in a later step, but now it is one of the steps that comes first here. And we're going to choose pages. So here's where you're choosing the index page. You can see the little house. It's the home page of the domain that you are integrating right now. And the 404 error page is if somebody types in a typo or a page URL that doesn't exist, where do they go? You're going to set whatever page you want to be the main or home page. It can be a traditional like website homepage, or it can be a funnel entry point, be whatever you want. And for the 404 error page, you can either have a custom 404, or you can just send them to the same page that they'd go at the home page. Either way is fine. Here's where in this next step is the new stuff. So this is where we see an option to do automatic configuration or manual, which is the way we normally do it. So normally manual configuration has the instructions here. This part is updated to be a little more clear and a little easier to follow. You're going to create a DNS record for a CNAME, and then you can copy the www for the first part and points to for the second part. This did not used to be as laid out with the copy and paste. So I do love that. But if we go back, this is the part that is going to make things super easy, is if we choose automatic. So let's choose automatic and click next, and we're going to watch this. Kartra is using a platform called Entry to easily configure your domain. So it is secure. It's going to protect your personal login data, and it's super easy. No developer needed. Okay, so let's click continue. It's going to analyze my domain here, and it knows that my domain is managed in Namecheap. How cool is that? So the next step here, what I'm going to do would be to put in my username and my password for Namecheap and get logged in there and connect. And then it's going to add the DNS record for me. Okay, so couple of things here. If I go down to the bottom, we have this option to switch to manual setup if you couldn't get logged in. We have this option to forward login to someone else, in which case there's this link that you're going to email to your helper. So this could be your agency, your developer, your VA, whoever manages this stuff for you. If you wanted to do that, that makes it easier. They have your login to Namecheap in my case, and they'll log in and do this, and basically do the setup for you. Or if I click on change provider, let's say that it got wrong where my domain is hosted. You can click on this and search for your provider. But I'm going to show this to you because I want to show you all of the providers that this works with. There are pretty much all of the ones that I've worked with clients. So Bluehost, Cloudflare, Crazy Domains, GoDaddy. You can see all these others. I'm not going to name them all. HostGator, I've worked with Hostinger. Ionos is in here, popular one, name.com. Namecheap is the one that I recommend and use. Network Solutions, Porkbun, registrar.com, even Shopify, SiteGround, Squarespace, which used to be Google Domains, WordPress.com, Wix. There's a lot of different providers. If your provider is not one of these, you will have to go to manual setup. But man, I think most of them are covered here. Let's go back. Let's continue so that it finds my domain. It finds Namecheap. There we go. Now I can also click at the bottom here on what DNS records it's going to create for me down here. And that's going to be shown to me right there. So basically it's going to log into Namecheap. It's going to add this DNS record for me. And it should also add the domain forwarding. I haven't tested into the process of it just yet. But if you're doing the www, there's a second step where you add the domain forwarding. And I would hope that they do that for you as well. But there we go. That's how that works. I think it's going to be really great because some people are intimidated about managing their DNS and changing these records or adding these records. Now, let's go ahead and leave and go back to domains, and let's go to DKIM. So the second step after we have set up our custom domain, which is for our pages, our calendars, webinars, your memberships, all of that stuff, you can put it on your custom domain so that it's no longer username.kartra.com, but it is your whatever your awesome domain is. But we also need to go ahead and authenticate the domain we're using for our email address. It is 2025 right now. We cannot be doing business with an daniellesbusiness@gmail.com. Kartra doesn't allow it, and no email marketing, email list platform allows you to use those any longer unless they're doing the sending for you from their own domain, which is no bueno. You don't want that either. But we do need to have email hosting set up. We want to have an email address at our domain that we own. And so this part, I think, is a little more tricky even than setting up your custom domain, because there's 3 CNAME records you have to do. So let me remove this real quick so we can go through the process. Again, we're going to add DKIM. Again, if you need to buy a domain, that's an option here. But we're going to click on add DKIM record. I'm going to go ahead and put in this domain. Go to add DKIM record. And again, we've got our automatic new opportunity here, or manual. If we go to manual, I just want to show you this process is a little bit, I think, more clear the way that it's laid out if you're going to do it manually. If we go to automatic, we're going to do the same thing here where it's going to use entry and it's going to search my domain, find out that I'm on Namecheap, and give me this step here where I'm going to log into my account and it's going to go ahead and add those 3 records for me. This also has the forward the login to someone else. This will be the way that you could have a provider do this for you. Now, personally, if you're working with me, I like to be on Zoom with you. I like to talk through a couple of things with you as we do this process. I want to make sure that you understand the difference between the www or a subdomain and when you would choose one or the other. I want to make sure you're not accidentally overwriting your website that you have that you want to still function. I want to make sure that you know what options you have for what the subdomain word is you're going to use. We'll look at the rest of your DNS, make sure that, now this is important, when you work with me, I not only do the DNS that you need for your integration with Kartra for your domain and your DKIM authentication, I also make sure that for whatever email hosting you have, so maybe you have Google Workspace, maybe you bought email hosting from your domain provider, GoDaddy has Microsoft 365 business email, Namecheap has private email. If you are on hosting like Bluehost or HostGator or Hostinger, they can set up your email hosting. They all have different settings for your SPF and your DKIM, plus you need a DMARC record. So the DKIM that is taken care of here inside of Kartra is 3 CNAME records that are required to authenticate Kartra to be sending on your behalf. But you also need to authenticate when you're sending emails from your inbox to a client directly, let's say. And that is an SPF and a DKIM specific to that. So that is something that's not included in what I'm showing you here inside of Kartra. It is something that you need. So I have a blog post. I'll link it in the description if you want to go through that and DIY it, walking you through what those things are that you need. Or you can book a session with me and I will go through and do that all together with you on a Zoom call. Super quick and easy. And normally what my clients say while we're doing that is, holy cow, I could never do this myself. Thank goodness for you. You're doing this for me. I've been told I'm doing the Lord's work, But anyway, my clients are super relieved that this is done. They don't have to worry about it. They know it's been done correctly. Just saying. But if you're doing this part on your own and you are going to promise me, pinky promise, that you will also look into setting up your SPF and your DKIM and your DMARC record, because you need those too. But I think that this upgrade in Kartra is so nice. So, so nice, honestly. I mean, it makes my job easier too. But for you guys, if you're feeling intimidated about logging into where you bought your domain from, this is a cool feature. Okay, so back to it. Basically, that's it. You're going to log in and it's going to do the thing for you. It's going to do the techie things, the copy and pasting basically that, you know, feels like it would be easy. But when you're looking at it and you're like, did I do that right? Did I put that in the right place? It can be overwhelming. And now it's super easy. So I'm loving that. Thank you so much for this awesome update. The biggest thing for me is that even if you buy your domain through Kartra, you're not being held hostage. That was a huge thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope that this is going to be the case. Super glad to get confirmation about that, because we don't want to buy a domain attached to something that may change in the future. I think this is a really useful, helpful update, and I'm super excited to see it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you're brand new in Kartra and you're looking forward to like being able to do this and not feeling like, let's see, what's this saying? Oh, imitate. Do I need more time? No. Okay, so if you're feeling like this makes it a little less intimidating, if you have questions about DKIM, SPF, DMARC records, let me know in the comments as well. I'm happy to help you out. And yeah, so go ahead and now maybe even thinking about adding a second domain. Super easy to do. Let me know what the process was like for you, if it was helpful. And I will see you when I am back with another update. There are a couple of other things that have rolled out inside of Kartra that I've been meaning to share with you guys, but I am just now getting my voice back. I have been sick, and one of the things that one of the symptoms that I had was basically my voice was shot. You can maybe still hear a little bit, but I am starting to feel better now. And so I'm back to being able to yap and make these videos for you. All right. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you when